Good afternoon, Mr. Commissioner. How likely is the completion of the second evaluation of the Greek program in the Eurogroup on December 5th?
We are working on it. The first review was completed swiftly. The second review is ongoing. There are good progress made in the discussion. There are still some adjustments that need to be made in order to reach what we call staff-level agreements between all the institutions during this week, so that we can enter into the Eurogroup on the 5th of December in good conditions. I would say, I'm not evaluating the chances, that it is perfectly feasible, and that's the message I carried here, also insisting on several points that need to be discussed and that are discussed as well between the institutions, the member states, and with the Greek government.
Right now, which reforms are being left behind in Greece?
I'm not going to comment on specific reforms. We need a package deal by Monday.
Would you say that the current government has undertaken the ownership of this program?
Yes, undoubtedly. Things have changed dramatically since July 2015. During the first months of the Tsipras era, under the ministry of Mr. Varoufakis, we could never negotiate. But now we've got an MOU since July 2015, and yes, this is on track. And this government, it's not always spontaneous, we've got to discuss a lot, but that's normal. That's the building of a compromise. This government really delivers. And there have been very important structural reforms in this country since then that will count for the future.
What is your assessment on the prevailing scenario regarding the participation of the IMF in the Greek program?
We have no alternative than the participation of the IMF. The IMF must be there. The IMF is a very important partner for Greece, but it's also an insurance for the partners of Greece.
The arrears of the private sector to the public sector in Greece amounted to 92 billion. Non-performing loans to the banking sector are over 50% of the GDP. The deposits have not returned to the Greek banks, and last month we had a loss of 83,000 jobs, a 15-year record. Therefore, where do you base your optimism regarding the medium-term outlook of the Greek economy?
For the NPLs, I discussed as well with the government and also with the banking sector. I think now the conditions are in place so that this question can be addressed, but obviously it must be addressed. My optimism is not the optimism of fantasy. Our forecast, as other institutions, show that there might be, there should be a growth of something like 2.7% in Greece in 2017, and the same or a bit more in 2018. I'm just saying that after all these efforts, they start to bear fruits, that confidence is coming back and that the structures are sounder. But I know that there needs to be more for business in order to have a driving force of investment here in Greece.
The fiscal derailment of Greece, the years before the crisis, was by almost 80% due to the increase of government expenditure. However, the fiscal adjustment that followed was based on tax increases, which created a huge recession. Is the European Commission concerned about the policy mix adopted by Greece?
We are not there to fix the rates of taxes. That's national sovereignty. And obviously the people in business that I met are worried with that. But that's up to the political debate in Greece to solve that. But the adjustment had to be serious because we did not invent the crisis. We did not create the crisis. The crisis is not imposed by authority. It's the contrary. Efforts needed to be made before because there was a crisis pre-existing.
Germany is Greece's biggest lender and has made it clear that there will be no discussion concerning medium-term measures on the debt before the successful fulfillment of the program in 2018. So why should we expect something different?
It is possible that we discuss on the design of medium-term measures that have to be implemented after. So there could be a compromise there.
You think so?
I hope so.
Do you think that the excessive publicity surrounding the Greek debt helps Greece? Because a new relief of the Greek debt is not so popular for the German or the French taxpayer?
I think that we just need to do what is fair. And if the problem exists, we've got to address it. And obviously the problem exists.
Should we assume that any further interventions of the Greek debt will be followed by commitments to new adjustment measures?
Let's move step by step. This week, SLA, staff level agreement, then the Eurogroup, then we will start debt talks.
Greece is the first country to enter an adjustment program, and 7 years later is left alone at last. Why do you believe the implementation of reforms is so difficult in Greece?
It's not only that, it's also the fact that it all started with the Greek crisis. That's the place where the crisis was the toughest. So the adjustment had to be the biggest. And also it's clear that there was no culture of reform and that there is always some difficulty to implement. Huge progress are being made now. And I hope that they will go on. I don't know what is the future politically of this country. It's not, I wouldn't say it's none of my business, but it's not up to me to decide. But yesterday in a speech, I advocated for something which is very important. It is a stable governance and a collective ownership of reforms. I don't know who will be in the lead in the years to come, but what I hope is that there will be always pro-European governments, pro-reform governments, and serious governments that think that reforms need not only to be voted, but implemented. And that's the way of success for Greece in the future. You said that Greece is the only country left in program. That's true. The other countries, like Ireland, like Portugal, like Cyprus, exited. That's the future that I hope for Greece. And that's what I'm trying to build alongside with the Greek authorities.
Thank you, Mr. Moscovici.
Thank you.